Hello, my friends. Welcome back to my channel, Paying the Ferryman 777. So, this is the third video in my saga. Um, if you haven't watched the previous videos, I'd recommend that you go back and take a look because there's a progression to this story. Um, so where were we? Basically, yeah, I'm going to talk about the next ritual of ayahuasca I did, which will be ritual number 5 at this point. Um, but I yeah, after the first 4 rituals, um, which will be like less than a month since I started this, since I had the visit from Lucifer, um, the life changed. Life was different, remarkably different. Not only did I discover non-physical life, spiritual life, and the effects that the medicine were having on me were most certainly opening this sight or facilitating the growth of this sight that I have. Let's say the third eye was opening for me. And there were a lot of synchronicities happening, a lot, like various synchronicities happening on a daily basis. When you see a coincidence or you see a number and you hear the number at the same time, or someone says a name and you had just been thinking about that name at the exact same time, all of these synchronicities were happening. My dreams had started to become much more vivid. There were messages, symbolic messages coming through my dreams at this stage. Um, and yeah, I suppose also we had started, me and my partner, my husband at the time, we had started to feel a little bit more belonging in this tribe, right? The tribe of light, where we were going to partake in the medicine and participate in these rituals. And we were talking to people a little bit more after, people after the ritual, people would all bring food, some healthy food, some juices, cakes, whatever, and we'd all eat. And people would talk, go sit with friends, talk about the experiences they had, talk about the visions, talk about what they received, what they felt, and discuss those things. So you get to know people, and at that stage we were most certainly getting to know people. I think I was a bit of a novelty for people because I was the only gringo, as I was called there. I was literally the only person not from the country there. Um, and yeah, I think in fact, most encounters with people, I would have been the first foreigner that they met or near enough to. And yeah, there might have been a bit of a novelty. People wanted to talk to me and things like that, which was quite nice. And there was this sense of belonging starting to develop. It was like, oh, we found our place. We found our tribe, as people often say, you're going to find your tribe one day. So that's how we felt. We felt this belonging there. Um, and yeah, in fact, one girl there, during the previous ritual, she gave me a gift. She gave me a gift of a kuripi. This isn't it. This is a different one. This is a little tool, will be considered a sacred tool in the shamanic practices there. And yeah, it's a kuripi and it's used to apply a medicine, another medicine called hape or rapé, depending on the pronunciation, right? Rapé was another medicine that I started to learn about or started to use during the rituals of ayahuasca. So it wasn't just ayahuasca at these rituals. You would have ayahuasca, but then, halfway through the ritual, the option would be opened for people to request a blow of there was some inside. A blow of Rapé. Yeah. So Rapé is another sacred medicine from the forest made by taking some certain plants, actually the bark of a tree and tobacco. And it's all burnt in a ritualistic process and the ash is collected. So this right here, it's ash and it's ash from specific plants and trees, most often contains ash from tobacco. Also, tobacco is another sacred medicine that shamans will use. Um, so yeah, basically what you do with this is you can apply it to yourself using this uripi, or you can apply to another person using this tool right here. My camera, my background makes it somewhat invisible, but as you can see, it's just like a essentially a piece of bamboo like this. There's all different styles, all different ways to decorate them. I have some feathers hanging off this one. So, and this is what's used to apply this medicine to another person. You just blow it. The other person will take it in their hand and put it near their left nostril. You'll blow the medicine into there and then refill and blow it into the right nostril. So this can bring a kind of a centering effect. It can balance your energies. Um, you can kind of do blessings with this. So you can put your intentions into the medicine, pray over the medicine, and then when you blow it into that person, they're kind of getting that energy. They're getting that intention into them. So I kind of had been learning this medicine too over the previous couple of rituals. One girl gave me a gift of one of these and I got some Rapé and I started to use it alone when I was even at home to enter into a kind of a meditative state or, you know, give myself some good energy. So what you might do, I'll give you a little demonstration. So you're just going to take some of it and you're going to put it into your hand like this. Um, I would then thank the medicine, the spirit behind the medicine, the plants, the forest, all of that. Maybe visualize the lights coming out of my hands into the medicine and blessing it, charging it with something that I wanted to put into myself. And then I'll take the kuripi and I'll put it in half of it because I need to do both nostrils, right? I'll put half of it in here and I'm gonna blow it into my nose. Always the left nostril first. That's the way that I learned. And I'm gonna take my glasses off for a second. So it's gonna make me cry when it's quite, especially the first time, it burns a lot. You can feel a little dizzy. You can sweat, kind of stuff like that. You get used to it after a while, and those effects become less. But um, yeah, there's different types of blow also. They'll be named after different animals. Like you can blow it into you in a different way. You can blow it into the other person in different ways. So yeah, I would also do like some movements. I'll do things like this. Usually a little bit more detailed than this, but just for the sake of time. And then I'll take a breath in, breathing in all the positive energy, good energy, light, so I can then blow it into my nose. So I'm gonna do a little blow right now to show you. That I'm gonna get the rest that I have here on my hand. And I'm gonna blow the rest into the other side here. So normally then after that, you might just sit in a kind of a contemplative state, in a meditative state. Close your eyes and just let the medicine work, right? It's good for connection with spirit. It's good for balancing your energy and various other uses like that. Can be used for healing, can be used for blessings, like I said, giving someone a blessing. Um, so while I cry, I'll just show you these are some tools, sacred tools that you would use in at least in shamanism there. Shamanism would vary country to country, culture to culture, but it exists all over the place, and there are some similarities which run through it all. But this would be a sacred tool there. This is a chickpea, by the way. It's used for applying in other people. You can do rituals, just Rapé rituals, but it was part of the ayahuasca rituals too. And this one, like I said, there's many different styles, many different types. This one has a bone on it. These are kuripis for applying the medicine in your own nose. Another very important tool or sacred tool in shamanism from South America would be a cachimbo, a pipe, basically. So a pipe would be used for other types of rituals, or even during ayahuasca rituals, Rapé rituals. It's a communal thing. It can be a communal thing. You do it individually. And again, you're going to use tobacco here, which is another considered a medicine by indigenous people there. And they would use medicine for healing. It's a very powerful medicine for people in the West. It's a terrible thing. It's poisonous. It kills you. They don't necessarily smoke it, but they will kind of like puff on it. And then the shaman may blow the smoke over people, over their head, blessing them and cleaning them. The smoke has a cleaning type of property that can push away negative energy and things like that. So there's whole rituals based around the cachimbo or the pipe also. And just another tool that's very common in shamanism would be maraca or a rattle. So this would be used by shamans or by people during rituals too, and to call energy, to banish energy, and other things like that. So they're just some of the tools that I started to pick up at this stage after a few rituals in ayahuasca, because I was like, yeah, this is for me, this is my path. Let's get into it. A drum, boom, 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 boom. Drum is another very common tool in shamanism. It can be used to create vibrations, right? Doom, doom, doom. It's creating these vibrations, can be used for healing, can be used for stuff like that. Excuse me while I just blow my nose. This is what you got to do when you take Rapé. You use this medicine. Not very pretty, but part of it. So yeah, put my glasses back on here. Uh, yeah, so it was getting into the vibe, getting onto this path, this shamanic path at this stage, getting to know people, feeling a little bit more at home, and making some friends, things like that. It was quite nice. And yeah, in day-to-day life, just in general, it was like things had elevated, wasn't suffering so much anymore, like I had been. I had like this new connection, new intuitions. Obviously, this connection with guides was developing, with the spirit, which is what shamanism or shamans essentially are. They're people with relationship with spirit, with guides. They'll go into other worlds, spiritual worlds, get information, bring it back to help the community, get energy, bring it back to help the community heal, help people heal, different things like that. So it's basically a relationship with spirit that is then used to help the community. And so, yeah, the next ritual number 5, had an interesting theme. It was a ritual of Mr. Jesus, Mestre Jesus in Portuguese, or Master Jesus. So Jesus um, would have been of some someone I was very familiar with growing up, a Catholic, big one of the biggest denominations in the world will be Christian, right? So people would be quite familiar with Jesus. And the rituals, the theme of this ritual was Jesus. So quite different to the previous rituals where they were like more shamanic in the beginning, or then there was the like said in the last video, the orishas, these African deities, and then comes along Jesus. At this stage, I started to want to think about things in a more universal way, in a more universalist way, um, and in terms of energy as opposed to maybe dogmatic or um, uh, religious ways, let's say. So I started to detach from religions because I started to see that, oh, well, we can connect with different energies readily and easily with the help of these medicines. And I would also without in general, but at this stage I was learning like that. So this was a nice ritual, very, very powerful ritual that I would never forget. Um, a little bit different. We were instructed in the beginning to stay more in our spaces because in other rituals, when the music kicks off and at certain stages, you're gonna feel the music. You want to get up. You want to move. You're gonna start to vibe right with the music. This one was a little bit more like let's stay calm. Let's stay in our positions. Let's look inside. Let's be a bit more introspective so that we can connect with this energy of Jesus, right? It's Christic energy, Christ energy, right? So what do we think of when we think of Christ? We're like, well, it's pure love, it's compassion, it's forgiveness, it's all of these things. Yes. If you're not a Christian or a religious person, um, or if you're more like maybe universalist again or spiritualist, you would see Christ as an ascended master, one of various ascended masters who kind of figured shit out and then tried to help others figure that out, you know. And they ascended masters essentially they understand the way, uh, which is love, right? So yeah, we had to kind of stay in our places, and the music was really beautiful. It was all uplifting music, Jesus music, right? It had a lot of gospel music or louvre, as they call it there. And so these high vibes, very powerful, very beautiful, very beautiful songs, make it feel really good, really emotional. In fact, it's really emotional. I took the medicine anyway, and started to enjoy this ritual. And as the force, as they call it, when the force of the medicine, yeah, use the force. It's like Star Wars, right? But as the force kicks in, and as you connect, and as you expand your consciousness, you're entering this altered state. You're entering this elevated state, and you're connecting with the energy of Christ through the music, through the vibrations, right? Through the ritual. Every ritual has an altar set up, so the altar changes each time, right? Had a big statue of Jesus, lots of flowers, nice candles, stuff like that. So you're doing all these little fundamentals to call that energy into the space with the music, and then you're connecting with it in this expanded state of consciousness, right? So it was very beautiful. I never connected with Christ or Jesus in such a way, right? And as you can imagine, the feeling was incredible. It was pure love, something unconditional. I could feel this presence that was there, this unconditional compassion, understanding, acceptance, like nothing I had ever felt before in my life. there was this great sense of relief. It was like you got this message of forgiveness too, which was like um it caused you to look back a little bit, introspect and retrospect on like all of the mistakes that you make. We all make mistakes. There's no one on this planet who's perfect, right? So we all have processes. We all make mistakes. We need to learn not to judge each other for those things. And that all came through in this. It was really, really elevated, let's say. This love, this embrace of Jesus, of Christ that made you want to, made you want to just get on your knees and just put your head down on the ground and be like, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. You get this sense that you can ask for forgiveness. And I did that. I was like, oh, please, please forgive me for my mistakes, And it was like this kind of cool vibe, this like, I already forgive you. You just need to forgive yourself, was the sort of response. Forgive yourself, right? So there was this very, very beautiful, powerful energy of love, like I had never felt love before in my life. And the ritual went on. I had started to, because I couldn't get up and dance and move around. I did feel my guides. I did feel one of my guides, Caboclo, this indigenous archetype, this Indian from the forest, this archetype. He was with me, and I started to do movements with my hands. I started to realize that I could manipulate energy with my hands, and with my eyes closed, I was playing. It was very interesting. I was playing with visualizations using my hands, like I was creating these little balls of energy. And I could, when with my eyes closed, I could see them. I could see the little ball of energy here, and then maybe I'd stretch it out into a bar, into a tube, and then compress it again. And there was all this sort of energy manipulation that I was doing with my hands, and I was like, "This is cool," you know. Um, and yeah, another thing that I started to get accustomed to really well in this ritual was the purging, and that was interesting. Each ritual, you tend to purge, you tend to vomit as a way of cleaning out, these negative energies. Good night. God bless. Love you. I'm just making a video. I'll be finished in a minute if you hear me talking, okay? My granny. She's so sweet. So yeah, like there's usually, no, it's not a rule, but generally, if you need, you're gonna vomit after you take ayahuasca, and they call it the purge. So you're purging from you what doesn't serve you, negative energy, sicknesses, depends on each person, right? But that process can be easy, can be difficult. And I started to develop at this stage after ritual number 5. I started to understand that my guides helped me. I could feel them kind of pushing me and positioning me. They're like, no, do this, kneel down and bend over and then arch your back, and now and it's gonna come out in a much easier way. So I started to understand that purging process a little bit better, and actually quite enjoy it. I've gotten to enjoy vomiting through my uh, path with ayahuasca and shamanism. I'm not bulimic or anything. I don't go sticking my fingers down my throat just for the crack, just for the fun of it. But there is this sense of relief. There is this sense of cleaning or lightness that comes after it. And once that's out, then you feel a victory. I felt such a victory in this ritual, like I had purged stuff from my past, forgiven myself stuff from stuff from my past, right? Do you get me? So I was getting all this shit out of me, right? With this help of this love, this love energy from Christ. And it was really beautiful, very cool. The manipulation of the energy with my hands was cool. That was a new thing for me. I was like, whoa, what am I doing here? But this would come in to play later in my story that this power of manipulating energy. What I learned was we have chakras, this chakra system that we have in our body, these points of energy that we have throughout our body that we hope to balance and to keep moving, clearing. When we have a blocked chakra or a problem, it manifests in our life as a problem, as an issue that we need to resolve. So it's in these chakras that we have in the palms of our hand also can be used to send energy. And that's what a lot of healers do, isn't it? Right? They like Reiki and stuff like that, as well as other types of things. We have the power to send energy through the palms of our hands. So um yeah, anyway, the ritual was really astounding. It was really beautiful. I was learning so much. My perspective of reality was expanding each ritual. Old beliefs were disintegrating, limiting beliefs, religious beliefs, dogmatic beliefs, doctrines. These had been disintegrating as started to understand a more universal spiritual approach to or spiritual perspective on life. I'm like, here I am connecting with Jesus. And 1 month ago, I prayed to Lucifer. Well, Jesus wasn't angry with me. You know what I mean? Latin, a couple of rituals ago, here I was connecting with African goddesses. Nobody was angry with me. It was all good. You know what I mean? So yeah, there's all of these archetypes, these personifications of energy that we have access to. I find what I've come to understand is that we are limited by our dogmas, by our religions. Not an attack. It's not saying that they're wrong, but they are limited. They're very limited. When you're inside one, you you don't have any access, or you don't try to access other energies outside of that. So I was coming to all these great realizations and expanding my consciousness and healing, more and more healing, more and more purging, you know? And it was really beautiful. At the end of this ritual, when we were chatting, this became something that me and my husband at the time started together and did together. We consecrated ayahuasca together. Each time we'd sit beside each other on our little mat, like everybody else did in the place. And then, yeah, we were talking after, and he was having his own connections with his guides and his own processes, and it was all very beautiful. We were very much enjoying life again. And he told me after the ritual when we were talking, obviously, like we're kind of like blown away, and we're like, "Whoa! And did you feel that? Did you see that?" And I was like, yeah, that was all really cool. And then he was like, "By the way, I one of my guides told me to tell you. He gave me a message from spirit through his med unity, through his connection with spirit, and he told me that I know Reiki." So I was like, "You what?" She was like, "Well, that's what they said anyway." And I was like, "Okay, interesting. I know Reiki. That's something I need to think about, or to maybe develop, or to work on." And it makes sense considering that I had started to learn about, or to at least to manipulate energy with my hands, and I could see it all, which was the cool part. Like, oh, look at these balls! Look at these balls! But yeah, so he got this message from spirit after, and then he told me, he was like, "You know Reiki. They told me to tell you know Reiki." I was like, "Oh, cool." So this would be something that I started to see more and more often was that during the ritual, it's not just necessarily like you're going to go there and you're going to heal and you're going to be better and you can go off back into your life. No, you're going to unlock stuff. You're going to learn stuff too, which is the really interesting part. It's almost as if you learn and you develop powers and gifts in line with the level of healing you achieve, you understand. So it's like each time ayahuasca, the spirit, she gives you a lesson. She gives you not only that it helps you to heal, but if you heal and then incorporate the kind of teachings and the lessons and the insights that come with the ritual, and you incorporate that in your day-to-day life, then the next time it's like, well done, next lesson. So it's almost like it felt like a college. It felt like each time you're going to go and you're going to heal a little bit, gain some insights. If you go and put them into practice, well done, you pass the test. Next stage. Here you go. Here's the next piece of information. Here's the next insight. Here's the next power. And you go like this, and you're like boom, 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 growing, growing constantly. What I come to learn as well is that this is infinite. This spirituality is infinite. What we can do, what we can expand, what we can learn, it's absolutely infinite. So that was really it for the ritual. Ritual number five. Um, interesting point about this was the next day. We went to visit my husband's parents. My husband at the time. We're not together anymore. Um, should probably give him a name. I don't want to use people's real names. Let's call him Igor. So Igor, his we went to see his parents the next day, which was something we used to do at the weekend. Spend the day with them in their house. They it wasn't like they had a lot of means to do a lot of things in their lives. Like life can be challenging financially there. So it was very nice just to spend time together, maybe have a little barbecue and drink some beers and talk at the weekend. So the next day we went there, but we had such a buzz, such an excitement about what we had been discovering, what we'd been feeling, all this new world that was opening up to us. That of course we wanted to like evangelize them. We wanted to be like, oh, you need to come with us. We were so excited. We were so blown away. We were so changed by it all that we wanted other people. Like it's a natural kind of thing, I think, that happens. You cool down after a while, you understand that everyone's in their own process and at their own time, maybe they will, maybe in the next life, whatever. You don't necessarily go evangelizing anymore, but in the beginning, you're it's new for you, so you're excited. You're like, "How you got to do this, man?" You're all excited about it. The next day, we went to his parents for like just a nice day, just to chill. Um, and I offered his mom and his sister Reiki. I was like, "Oh, you have a pain in your back? I think I can fix that." Uh, oh, your sister, you're not sleeping? Maybe I can help you with that. I learned Reiki. Well, I know Reiki. Let's test it. Can I test it? So I was like, I gave the two of them a Reiki, and they were like, "Oh, I feel better. That's cool." I didn't know how to do Reiki, and I don't think it's exactly Reiki in the Japanese sense of the word, but it's more of an intuitive healing, passing this energy into the body with the right intentions to heal. Yeah. And I did that and I did it with them and they really loved it. So that was cool. That was kind of a confirmation. I was like, oh, what I can do. That was fun. And then I was talking with his dad and um, I was explaining what we had learned about the medicine Rapé, right? This one I showed you earlier. So I asked him if he wanted to do it to connect with me because it is a kind of a connection thing. You're connecting with the other person when you apply it. And with my eyes closed, I had this vision when I saw him of a purple triangle on his forehead, and I was like, all right then. And then I kind of made a triangle with my hand, and I did this, and I could see like a beam, a purple beam between my head and his head in triangles, like purple triangles connecting them. And I was like, that's interesting. All of this was new for me. Each time I was having these visions and seeing things, and I was like, this is fucking cool, you know? And then so I got the Hape. It's a very indigenous thing, it's very shamanic, it's very of the forest, right? And I did like a little blessing on him. When you use this one, when you're doing it on another person, you'll usually make certain movements above the body, uh, pulling down energy over the shoulders, or you'll even blow the breath of the shaman. You're going to blow negative energies away from them and stuff like that. So I was feeling very connected with this aspect of me, with this archetype, with this spirit of caboclo, with this spirit of the indigenous people from the forest, right? So anyway, I applied the hape to him, and he just screamed, not in a bad way, but it was like this indigenous war cry that came out of him. He was like, "Rah!" And he was like, "Rah!" And it started doing this like indigenous thing that is, it's known caboclos do, right? That religion I mentioned in the previous video, Umbanda, they work with this family of entities called caboclos. And they have this habit of when they arrive on Earth, when they incarnate, or not incarnate, but incorporate in a medium, the medium will, uh, you know, let go of control, and the caboclo will arrive, and he'll bang on his chest, and he'll give this yell, like this war cry. And when I applied the Hapeg to his father did that. So it was as if the caboclo in me called the caboclo in him, the Indian in him, and he started to like bang his hands on his knees and like bang his feet on the ground and make this indigenous like war cry type thing. And I was like, oh, this is cool. And then his father was in this energy, and his father actually has indigenous roots, yeah, from one side of his family. So it was like he was connecting with his ancestors, connecting with his cabal. And then as soon as that happened, my husband, who was there beside us, just watching the whole thing, he received his caboclo, his entity, his version of that. So the three of us ended up in this moment of very primal, indigenous caboclo dance, caboclo screaming. And then after it calmed down a little bit, his father just broke down crying. And in a good way, in a good cry, he released a lot of things. And I was like really taken aback. I was kind of like, I was really happy for him. He was really happy to release these things. He felt so good. And I was really happy that I was seeing evidence of these abilities, or these things that we can do to help each other, to help people heal. to pass good energy from one person to another. Um, and it was very special. It was a very special moment, and he was very grateful. So that was it. Lovely ritual, lovely experience, more expansion, new gifts, learning new things, and yeah, I guess I'll leave it there for now. If you're enjoying the story, like and subscribe. There's lots more, and it gets way deeper. It's way darker at times, and I see lots of things. So just yeah, just like and subscribe, whatever you do. Um, and I hopefully I'll see you next time. Take care.